So, hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Wir stehen hier jetzt gerade vor der seltsamen Frage, ob ein gewisser Genocide Jack, ein Serienkiller, Chiro getötet hat. Die Frage ist das so passiert? Ist da irgendwas anderes passiert? Wir wissen es nicht genau. Auf jeden Fall, Toko verhält sich gerade sehr seltsam, hat sich in ihrem Zimmer quasi eingeschlossen und will nicht mit uns reden, aber vielleicht will sie mit jemand anderem reden. Hey, Byakuya, you think you could ask her? To come out of her room, I mean.
That's fine.
Sure, whatever. Huh? You're gonna talk to her, Byakuya? Wow, I guess you can be nice when you want to. Byakuya stood in front of the door, not making a sound, and pressed the doorbell. After a few moments...
What do you want?
Leave me alone. You're so annoying. Bacula? Wie kommt denn jetzt dieser Name zustande?
It's Byakuya.
Oh. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry. Never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again. And with that, the door slammed shut. Even Byakuya couldn't pull it off? There's nothing else we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. Hold on. Hey Byakuya, what was Toko talking about just now? Something about a promise?
What?
Oh, I have no idea. Another one of her delusions, I'm sure. But...
Stop talking.
if I say I don't know, then that means I don't know. Just let Hina take care of her. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll stay here and keep an eye on her.
Let's go.
Well, then let's go. Without waiting for a reply, Byakuya sped away. Byakuya! And I hurried to catch up. I tried to talk to him several times as we walked, but he didn't even look back, let alone say anything. He just kept on walking towards his destination. Finally, his feet brought him to a stop in front of a certain room. The library? Come on, let's go in. Is the evidence that proves it was Genocide Jack really in the library?
Don't make me repeat myself.
Don't make me say it again. Wahrscheinlich im Archiv. Remember, on the other side of this door, it's the archive, right? Hurry up and go inside. Oh, here?
Let's go.
It'll all make sense once you're inside. Whoa, there are so many books and files. And so much dust, too.
So, in other words...
I would say there's enough value in this place to endure the dust. Schauen wir uns mal um. Kannst eine ganze Menge ansehen. There's a wooden box. It's empty. Although judging by the smudges in the dust, it looks like there was something inside. I wonder what it was. There was an extension cord plugged in there. It proved very useful while I was in the library. Wer den Begriff Extension Cord nicht kennt, Verlängerungskabel. An Extension Cord, huh? Eine Lampe. Huh? It's a desk lamp. Oh yeah, it's the same one I saw Byakuya using in the library before.
What?
Do you have a problem with that lamp? It was here before, then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I'd put it to good use. So, ansonsten, wir können Byakuya noch selbst ansprechen und hier sind mehrere Regale noch. There's a ton of thick files stuffed into the bookshelf. If you're thinking of looking through any of them, let me give you a little warning. Those things are filled with graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crime scenes. It's the kind of thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at. Be careful. Huh? What do you mean? All those files are investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those are internal documents for police eyes only. They are not the kind of thing you'd expect to leak. Oh? There's so many files stuffed onto the shelf. What's in all these things?
That's enough.
Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous? They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truth for a commoner. You mean like members of the Diet or something? No, I mean the ones with real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. If you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There are some very interesting people in there. You're just kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. Ich glaube, das ist eine Anspielung auf die Science-Adventure-Reihe, also mit Steins Gate zum Beispiel und Chaos Head und sowas. Da gibt es halt wirklich auch so diesen... auch Rat der irgendwas, ich weiß nicht mehr genau, wie er hieß. Egal. This shelf is stuffed tight with files. Without really thinking about it, I picked one at random. Oh, you have a sharp eye indeed to select that file. Huh?
That's right.
That's the report on a presidential assassination. The original is kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up for peeking at it. Without making a sound, I returned the file to the shelf. So, are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library? The entire reason I was interested in the library is because of this room right here. It's home to classified government documents, police records, things no ordinary person could ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This can't be for real, right?
Such ignorance.
That's your guys' problem. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you label it a lie. Well, it's not that, it's not like I totally refuse to believe it, but I mean, there's just so much. How could anyone have put all this together? I suppose it goes to show just how much Hope's Peak truly wields. Or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. It's no use. I can't keep up with all this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things like that are usually impossible.
What?
What do you mean usually? Usual, normal, ordinary, simple? Those things don't exist anywhere in the real world. If you don't understand what they actually represent, you don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? But what makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I've reviewed them multiple times, so there's no doubt. Hold on a second, you're saying you've read all these documents and more than once? But all this has to be like top secret confidential stuff, right? So why? My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. Huh? Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How is that possible?
So in other words...
I already told you there's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council. And I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. But to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world backwards and forwards. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what always interested me the most were the cold case police investigation reports. Reading through those reports has always been a hobby of mine ever since I was little. It's excellent mental exercise. I've solved more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. And among all those reports, one of my recent favorites is the Genocide Jack case. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
That's right.
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack cases has been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder. The first characteristic is that at every crime scene the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood and the victim's body is suspended. It's exactly the same as what happened to Chihiro. Save your surprise, the best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, whether the victims are suspended, the only ones who knew about that particular fact were members of the police and other high-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about that aspect of each crime. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victim. Now if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. So how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
That's right.
That's the key question. But in fact the answer is quite simple.
So in other words,
The culprit isn't a copycat killer, it's the real Genocide Jack.
in other words,
That right there is the evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. Then Genocide Jack really is? Such a brutal, fiendish killer really is walking around among us?
interesting.
Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become part of our little game. No, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue or two.
Such ignorance.
If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. Soll ich das hier direkt ansehen? There's a ton of thick files stuffed into the bookshelf. All those files they are investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those are internal documents for police eyes only, they're not the kind of thing you'd expect to leak. Filled with graphic disturbing photos of all kinds of crime scenes, ja, careful. Ansonsten, ja, wir müssen ihn augenscheinlich direkt nochmal ansprechen. Byakuya, about the Genocide Jack case file. Could you let me see it?
That's fine.
Well, you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can't take it with you. Byakuya handed me the file and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly my hand stopped. I had reached the page where photos from the scene of each crime had been collected. The names of Genocide Jack's victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32. Tetsuhiro Honda, 17. Shoji Gaku, 23. Kano Issei, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30. Komatsu Nataro, Takefumi Gono, Uchida Naohisa, Takeshi Masamune, Yuto Yumijima. There was no end to it. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All of the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended in exactly the same way. And at the scene of every murder, the word bloodlust was left in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page. Profiling results? All of the crimes took place either on weekdays at night or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killings to take place was on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely that there was any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests that the suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder.
So, in other words,
the key point here is that the culprit may well have a split personality. Split personality? Like the kind of thing you see on TV? So ein part of another totally unbelievable story. Ich möchte auch kurz sagen, so dissoziative Persönlichkeitsstörung. Ja, da gibt es die Form der gespaltenen Persönlichkeit, es gibt aber auch die Sache, wo quasi plötzlich gewisse Eigenschaften oder Fähigkeiten wegfallen zum Beispiel und plötzlich so ganz andere Charaktereigenschaften hervortreten. Da gibt es dann häufig auch Trigger für. Also es ist eine sehr spezielle Sache und es ist ein sehr kompliziertes Thema und ich bin kein Experte darin. Ich habe mal eine kennengelernt, die hatte so eine Störung, bei der war es halt so, dass ab und an plötzlich so ihre, also ich habe halt mit der nur geschrieben, aber trotzdem, es war dann so, dass die zum Beispiel ab und an plötzlich so ein bisschen, sagen wir mal, kindisch wurde und man es auch an ihrem Schriftbild sehr deutlich gemerkt hat, wenn sie wieder so dissoziierte, wie man sagte. Also das ist ein sehr interessantes Thema, aber ich bin kein Experte da drin. So I'm part of another totally unbelievable story. But this one is way more unbelievable than anything else up till now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. I feel like my mind has gone numb. Genocide Jack case file has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook.
let's go.
Alright, we should get going soon. Huh? Where are we going? Anyway, but here. We finished our business here, haven't we? Ah, wait, Byakuya! As usual, Byakuya turned and left without another word. I hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Huh? Just all of a sudden like that?
I don't have time to play with you.
Come on, enough of your annoying misapprehensions. Did you really think we'd be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own.
Goodbye.
Well, goodbye. And just like that, he was gone. Just as quickly as he'd asked me to join him, he'd cut me off. In the end, I felt like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. At the same time, I had uncovered some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack, he's the one that killed Chihiro. And that murderous fiend is one of us. But who is it? I have to find that out no matter what it takes. And to do that, there's somewhere I have to go to investigate one more time. I have to go back to the crime scene, the girls' locker room. I should check the boys' locker room too. And the others might have come up with some info I might find useful while I'm at it. I need to find out everything I can. Yep. Und da würde ich sagen... Moment. Ja doch, es ist die richtige Richtung. Ich sag mal, eine Sache ist bisher relativ offensichtlich, aber eine Sache ist auch ganz klassisch. Wir haben jetzt, oder sehr eigenartig, wir haben jetzt zum Beispiel die Case-File gesehen und eine Sache passt nicht so ganz.
Ding, ding, ding! He has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit.
I feel as if...
Another stat increase for me.
Evidence? What did you find?
I cannot reveal that just yet.
That's it. I'm sure of it.
But I guarantee that what I found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yeah, Miss Ludenberg said she witnessed something worthwhile too.
Really? What did she see?
Well,
She refused to tell me. It's like when a girl bullies the boy she likes, right? Right?
Okay, so where is Celeste now?
The warehouse by the dorms. She was there, but at the same time, not there.
What's it gonna be? So. Wir gehen mal hier rein und schauen uns da um. Fällt euch ein Unterschied auf? Naja, was es mit dem Unterschied auf sich hat, das sehen wir in der nächsten Folge. Cliffhanger! Ich hoffe, ihr habt Spaß, das konstruktive Kritik, vielleicht ein Däumchen nach oben da. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder und dann, ja, schauen wir mal, wie es hier weitergeht. Und wie diese ganze Sache abläuft. Ihr könnt ja überlegen, wer ist der Mörder, wer ist Genocide Jack, ja, was stimmt mit dem Fall nicht, irgendwas. Also es gibt 2 Sachen eigentlich, die wir aus dem Case-Fall lesen konnten, die nicht zu dem Mord passen, den wir gesehen haben tatsächlich. Ich werde es aber nicht groß spoilern. Ihr könnt ja eure Gedanken unten in den Kommentaren lassen und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal wieder, wenn es wieder das Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Bis dahin, Cheerio!